Hello, Silicon Valley. So welcome to Idea to IPO. My name is Rob. I organize Idea to IPO. We've been holding events in Silicon Valley for many, many years. We launched officially on February 1st, 2010. At that time, we had no members and no events on our calendar. At this stage, we have over 400,000 members among all our meetup groups all around the world. We've organized, promoted, and produced over 3,900 events. By any standard, by any measure, we're the most active, most prolific startup events organization in the history of Silicon Valley, bar none. Well, thank you. Thank you for all your support all these years. We hold venture capital panels, legal workshops, networking events, and more. We hold an event every day of the week. Check out our schedule at ideatoipo.com. Our mission is to promote entrepreneurship, support entrepreneurs, build community, and provide value in the Silicon Valley startup ecosystem. To that end, we provide content that is practical, actionable, and relevant, stuff you can actually use to succeed as entrepreneurs. We believe in building community because Silicon Valley is a global aspirational ecosystem. It attracts people from all over the world who come here to do great things. Who here is not originally from Silicon Valley or the greater San Francisco Bay Area? Who here was born and raised in Silicon Valley or the greater San Francisco Bay Area? All 6 of you. Well, welcome, natives. So whether you're born and raised here or just arrived last night, it's important for us to provide multiple channels for you to meet people, build relationships, and grow your network. With regard to value, it's important that we provide value at each and every one of our events. Not just value for your money, which is important though, because we know many entrepreneurs are struggling financially. So we make sure our events are free or affordable. And if you cannot afford to cover charge for whatever reason, come talk to me and we can work something out. And at most of our speaker events, we make sure that we provide a delicious buffet. Is that a delicious buffet? Is that a delicious buffet? Well, I want to thank Procopio for partially sponsoring that delicious buffet. More importantly, though, at each and every one of our events, we want to make sure that we provide value for your time, which is your most valuable resource. Anyone here getting any younger besides our moderator and our panel and this young man? So when you invest your valuable time to come to our events, we want to make sure that you maximize your ROI. We have many partners that help us do what we do: law firms, venture capital firms, angel investor groups, incubators, accelerators, colleges, universities, and lots of other players in the Silicon Valley startup ecosystem. Tonight, we're grateful once again to Procopio for hosting us at this beautiful venue. Is this a beautiful venue? So let's hear it for Roger and Procopio. Applause.
Oh, you want me to talk?
A few words.
Rob's got one of those electric collars around my neck, so if I go over time, it's a,
Cut the mic.
So, yeah, welcome everybody. How y'all doing tonight? No, seriously, 2 people having a good time. How y'all doing tonight? Welcome, welcome. Thanks, Rob, for putting this together. Always great events. Hopefully tonight will be another one of those. Again, my name is Roger Rappaport. I'm a lawyer here at Procopio. Kidding! I'm kidding! I head up our emerging growth and venture capital practice group. So I deal with companies from inception, incorporation, all the way through IPOs and M&A events and everything in between. I was an entrepreneur for 10 years before I became a lawyer. And I think what I love about working with entrepreneurs and startups is you never know from day to day what fire you're going to be putting out. It seems like every day is a different experience, and that keeps things really interesting. One of the things I just want to point you to, I think there's maybe 5 seats left for the event tomorrow night. we're hosting Rajesh Swaminathan from Coastal Ventures. It's going to be a keynote discussion and interactive Q&A with audience. It's going to be in the building here. So if you haven't gotten your seats, apologies, there was a mix-up on Eventbrite. On Meetup, there are a couple of people that came here tonight for that event, but it's tomorrow night, and really looking forward to an amazing event. Thanks, Rob, for putting this together.
Applause. Some of our other partners are here tonight. I would also like to have them say a few words. First up, let's hear it for Frankie and Sushi and New York Life. Applause.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Frankie Dong, and this is Sushi. Rob wants me to talk about my business, but I actually want to take this moment to thank you all. I really appreciate the friendship and the business you guys have given me. I don't even take new clients anymore, only by referrals, and that's because of Idea to IPO. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, next up we have Anita. Next up we have Anita from Happiness Factors. Applause.
Hello everyone, I'm Anita from Happiness Factors, where we are building the bridge between AI, mental wellness, and holistic best of East and West. And currently we are giving amazing discount to the first 10 companies. We mostly sell B2B, already 5 in the pipeline. So you want to be part of the other 5 who gets the extreme discount, definitely reach out to me. And there's QR code on my banner over there where you can download the app from the App Store or the Android Store. And we not just make you happy, we help you sustain happiness and remove liabilities by making your employees happy without drugs, alcohol, or marijuana. Thank you. Rob wanted me to say this line, by the way.
Though our local mission is to support entrepreneurs here in Silicon Valley, our global mission is to democratize entrepreneurship and innovation all around the world. To that end, we maintain a robust YouTube channel, youtube.com/idea to IPO. Go check it out. We have tons of videos there. And this rich, valuable content is available on demand, anytime, anywhere, totally free of charge. Our partner in this endeavor is Tim Jeggers, one of the top professional videographers and digital marketing experts in Silicon Valley. So let's give it up for Tim.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, everybody. So I'm Tim Jagers. I'm a video strategist and the owner of Pacific Bay Media. I've been running my own video company for like 5 years now. I just kind of rebranded into something new that reflects what I'm currently doing. Mainly like informational, promotional content. I do a lot of events, website content, all sorts of stuff. I'm also a commercial licensed drone pilot, published photographer. And yeah, I'm really, really involved in the multimedia space. So if you have questions about anything, I'm over there by the cameras. So I've got cards too. You can find me on pacificbaymedia.com. And yeah, thanks for coming and let's have a good event.
Next up, we have Lakshmi from Jam Communications. Applause.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lakshmi, and I represent a company called Jam Communications. We help other companies and startups scale by helping them with their software development needs. So anything on the tech stack, whether it's a front end, back end, website, or app development, you can reach out to us. Thank you.
So here's the schedule for the rest of the evening. Our featured speaker, well, actually, our panel will hold a brilliant, compelling, dynamic, entertaining, and scintillating discussion. Right. Don't worry, it'll be brief. Then we will hear from selected startup entrepreneurs who will pitch to the panel, and they will get feedback. We'll wrap it up roughly at 8:40 p.m. Stick around, network, socialize, connect. As a courtesy to Procopio, we would like to leave the building by about 9 p.m. However, there is an after party planned. Here are the 3 options: the Rosewood, the patio, or Pizza My Heart. Anyway, more on that later. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to our distinguished moderator. He's very distinguished. Roger Rappaport, partner at Procopio. So let's give it up for Roger and our panel. Applause.
All right, so we have very limited time. I think Rob has given us 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Okay. I'm not sure what this means. An hour, okay. So I'm going to introduce the panel and we're going to have a little discussion. Panelists, if you can try and kind of keep the answers somewhat brief, concise, because I think there's a lot of questions I'd love to get through, but maybe we'll only be able to get through a few. Just by way of introduction, Nick Larson, angel investor, Sri Menon, angel investor, and an LP and an amazing CEO. Paul Russo, angel investor, Band of Angels. Can everybody hear me? No? I'm probably making perfect sense then. Most people say when I'm on mute on Zoom that I make the most sense. So, all right, Nick Larson, angel investor, Sri Menon, angel investor, LP, and amazing CEO. Paul Russo, Band of Angels, Keiretsu Forum, and Keto. Gwen Edwards, who is, I've known for a long time, amazing woman, a managing director of Golden Seeds and chair of Angel Resource Institute, and Andre Guzek. Oh, man, I've been practicing that for 3 days. Investor and Band of Angels. So welcome, everybody. If we could just quickly introduce yourselves, just give us a little bit of your background, and then in terms of your investment stage, sector, check size, and anything else that you think would be relevant for the audience.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Larson, a serial entrepreneur turned investor. I also host a show called Silicon Zombies, siliconzombies.com, which is super fun. My wife and I, who's here for this evening, we do early stage stuff, like 10 to 50,000 and strategic. So if we can help grow revenue, that's kind of the sweet spot. It's also risk mitigation on our side. Plus, it's more fun when you get involved, too. You can have a meaningful impact. So thrilled to be here. Thank you.
All right, Sri.
Awesome. Sri Menon, I used to be in corporate. Hello? Yeah, I used to be in corporate for a number of years, and then I went into the startup world, loved it, and then decided that as part of the ecosystem should be an investor. That's the thing to do, isn't it? So started really small with very small check sizes in funds. And then it just, like Founders Club and stuff like that, where they have syndicates. And well, now I'm an LP at N3 Futures Funds, which is a South Asian women's fund, focused on South Asian women, as in terms of LPs, but not in terms of where they invest. We invest in all sorts of companies and all sorts of ethnicities. Then I also do, I have two types of angel investments, so to speak. One is where I do syndicate. I'm never an individual lead because I don't think I have the bandwidth or the understanding to do as much due diligence, especially if they are tech. So I syndicate with other folks, or if I'm doing an individual investment, then I need to know the founder or I need to know the industry really well. Generally, because of my background, I was at eBay Motors as the GM there and have a lot of e-commerce and retail experience. I focus a lot on things that are associated with that, perhaps software that supports it, or a marketplace concept, which is, I understand that very well. And now, of course, I have FOMO just like everybody else, and I am looking at AI deals.
Yeah, I'm glad you kept it brief. All right, Paul.
Yeah, I guess people ask me, should I jump into AI? I told them you should have 10 years ago before the valuations became insane. So I run a very unique investment company. We invest in very early stage companies. We're agnostic as to market and geography. We don't lead deals. We vet the vetted. In other words, we syndicate with many angel groups. Correct. When they're going to invest in something, we have over 100 advisors who are also investors. We do secondary vetting to kind of filter the filter and identify the top 5%. We invest in everything. If it's a biotech, it's got to be the best 3-4% of biotechs. If it's industrial, top 2-3% of industrials. And anywhere in the world, so long as they have a good lead that we trust. And we have over 90 portfolio companies, as I mentioned, those in 4 countries. And to solve the liquidity issue, we're now working on an IPO. to become, in effect, the ETF of startups, a safe way to invest in startups. Our track record now shows that our statistical model works very well. We make many investments, about 100K each, made about 180 investments, because we do follow-ons.
Excellent. Gwen.
We do a lot of follow-ons, and we are domain agnostic. The only thing we seek that's really clear is we'd like to have a woman on the team and the company in which we invest that has at least 10% equity. So don't you think that should be 50% of all companies? But sadly, it's not. But we're there, and we're really proud of the work we've been doing since 2008. So happy to hear more.
Thank you. Andre.
So my name is Andre. I'm a entrepreneur. Actually, I wanted to thank Rob for having us tonight. And so I had a good exit about 12 years ago. My company was called Beat the Traffic, kind of a precursor to Waze, I guess. And I've been investing as an angel for about 12 years, made 34 deals. A few times I thought I was going to give up that stuff, but actually 2 of my companies went public, and it was very good. And as a matter of fact, in my entire investing, it's a really bright spot, so I figured I'm going to keep doing that. And I do about 3 deals a year or so it's not that much. I'm not doing that full time. And my check is typically 20 to 10K. It's kind of been going down. We can discuss that later. And why? Because I have some concerns. And finally, I'm also a published author, so I kind of wrote down all my story before I started drinking way too much wine in that book. And I have copies here that I can dedicate if you want, with a discount from Amazon.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. So let's jump right into it. Everybody here tonight is either raising money or will be raising money at some point in the future. And fundraising can be an amazingly difficult, grueling task, especially in the environment that we're in today. So what advice can you give entrepreneurs to optimize their time and efficiencies in terms of fundraising?
I remember my days doing that. Interestingly, I was not successful at getting VC money, but I got money from the government. And I know, it's kind of rough. It's rough as an entrepreneur, and it kind of wears you down, all this rejection. But I would just kind of do it full speed and then give you a certain time, to be successful or not, but not drag for years and years and years, because that's going to kill you. So, and look, one of the companies I invested in, they never got any VC money, Nightscope. They funded themselves all the way to becoming public. So everything's possible.
Yeah, excellent. Gwen, you had some thoughts.
I do. I have tons of things to say on that subject, but just to keep it short, one is I just want to urge people not to go pitch to a group, in particular an angel group, until you have a deal room, you have every piece of documentation you're going to need for diligence before you open your mouth and come pitch. The reason for that is once you get that opportunity to get in the lane, you've been screened, and they say, yeah, come down and do a pitch for us. You don't get that opportunity again. It's not because people are mean. It's like you're sent back to do some work, and then the group wants to see fresh companies every month. And they'll say, well, why are they coming back? We already saw them 2 months ago. What's wrong? So just understanding a lot about the domain in which you're operating is so important. So to that second point, I would urge people to find a sponsor. Get to know somebody. If they're with the band or they're with Golden Seas or whatever, you really need somebody to advocate for you. And those people end up doing a boatload of work on your behalf, but without that, it's really hard. And you might meet that one person at a screening, but it's a big gamble. So back to really have your ducks in a row and have it organized. When people start diligence, they want it to go quickly, and so do you.
Yeah, I advise my clients from day one, everything goes into a virtual data room. And, I think it's important for investors when they see someone that's really organized. I used to tell my employees, if you don't take care of the small stuff, I have zero confidence you'll take care of the big stuff. And so when you look and feel really well organized and you're the way investors expect you to look and feel, it makes a difference.
Let me add a little bit more color. We're in a very unique environment today. We got gazillions of startups, way too many. In fact, if you look at, for example, take LiDAR. There are over 90 LiDAR startups, and the only car I know of that's got LiDAR in it is a Lucid, which is $150,000. There's so many startups today that even if they all worked, the world just can't absorb them all. It doesn't change that fast. And yet you're in an environment where money is much harder to raise. Everybody's got their kind of arms folded. And so the most important thing is, of course, aside from the fact that you go to an investor that does invest in your kind of deals, you've got to make sure that there's a match there, and then focus on how they're going to make money. Ultimately, no one understands the technology, every technology, but they want to know what's the big picture. If they give you X dollars, how many times X are they going to get back? And I tell everybody, focus on the big picture, because the technology will come out in due diligence. So too many entrepreneurs spend all the time focusing on the minutiae of the technology. I think that's a big mistake.
Sri, can I change gears just really quick? And this one's directed to you. You've pitched as an entrepreneur, and you get pitched to as an investor. So what are some of the key components of a successful pitch that you could impart here with the audience?
It's really, there is no one-stop answer to that, because you continue to refine your pitch over a period of time, but there are some things that you absolutely need to. I personally like to see, and I've done this also when I'm pitching, you have to talk about the why. What's the pain point, obviously? What are you trying to solve? Secondly, why are you and your team the most qualified to solve this problem? Because most investors are looking to see is there's a founder market fit, just like we call product market fit. There has to be a founder market fit. Is there a level of confidence they can have in you based on your background that they think you can actually take this to scale? And the third thing is very, very common that people miss out, and I did too when I was pitching early in my own startup, is what is your moat? Sometimes we say, we are slightly differentiated from this other competitor, this big player. But, and it's not compelling enough. This has to be so compelling that an investor feels the FOMO right off the bat, that if I don't invest, this thing is going to take off, because they have a phenomenal moat.
Yeah, and it's very well put. And just to add on to that, when an investor will tell you that you're not in their space or it's a little bit too early, that's probably a baloney objection. If they think there's a legitimate opportunity to make money, they will find you the right people to talk to. Don't underestimate telling a good story and being confident and being able to weave data into that as well. And that could be numbers or logos. I mean, know who you're talking to, right? So, for example, Jason Kalkanis, who's a local big-time super angel here, he likes to invest in startups that have they've had 2 failures and this is number 3, because they've been able to figure out their issues and work through them. So know who you're talking to and know what they want to hear, and also remember the majority of communication is nonverbal, so get all that stuff down too.
Graham, what advice would you give people to make their pitches more compelling?
Well, I'll just build on what he said. I mean, imagine, I think when people use the phrase, imagine if, and then hook somebody with the first sentence, and it's like, imagine when you'll be able to do such and such. I'm doing that today. I can do X, Y, and Z within 6 months, and I will meet a milestone inflection point in 12. All I need for that, to achieve that, is X dollars, and here's where I'm going with this company. If we solve this big problem, boom, 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 the market size is huge, and here's what we're going to do over the next 3 years. I expect to exit. Angels like to see exits. They don't want to hear you say, I'm going to IPO, especially these days when I've lost more money on IPOs than not. But they want to see that you are thinking about them. Who is your audience? And what are you going to do for the investor? And then I love to ask a question and have them ready to say, pretend I'm your customer. What do you say? How do you pitch? Where's your value prop to the customer? And who am I at the customer if it's the enterprise software? Am I the CIO or I'm the VP of business? So be ready to really articulate the value prop to your audience, which is the investor, and what you bring to the customer, and know your customer. So those are key things for me.
A very good point. And I'd say all the pitches I hear, they are all very good. So I guess people get all kinds of coaching, but I'm trying to see through, that pitch, what the entrepreneurs or the entrepreneur truly has accomplished, with how much money they have for so long. And to me, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out to get an idea. And maybe contrary to the others, I'm really looking for companies that are going to go public. This is whatever money I made. This is from companies going public. So I still believe there's up and down, and maybe the market is. But if I invest today, you're probably going to go public in 8 years. So I'm going to be patient, and that's what happened with my previous investments. But I'm trying to figure out if you're really truly, prepared to go all along, and usually you can find this out too when you have a due diligence discussion. So that's kind of what, just speaking for myself.
The other thing, just to build on that, is the ability to pivot. Like, things are not going to go your way. So how do you deal with those? And as investors see you dynamically handling problems on the fly, that will help. That's a good story. That helps you rise above the noise. To your point, there's a lot of folks pitching. So how can you set yourself apart?
Companies that are really capital efficient. And my best of all exits was a company that only raised, you ready for this? $750,000. They were on fire, they were selling, and they exited to a company at like 180 million. Everybody got a 35x return. No VC dollars. Once you take VC, you're on a different trajectory. It's not bad. We need it. We love it as an industry in Silicon Valley. But think about that model too.
I wanted to follow up on one of the things you said, which was about articulating a really good value prop. Are there any strategies, anything that you can help entrepreneurs with in terms of articulating a great value prop? Is it just great storytelling, really understanding the numbers, the business? How can you help us really articulate such a great value prop?
So just like Sri said, you got to be solving a real problem in a way that you can succeed. So you can't just be a bit better. You have to have a moat or IP that protects you from the companies that want to basically. The problem is you either stay small, in which case people shouldn't invest in you, or if you become big, then everybody's going to be targeting you. So I think protecting is critical, and you want to convince people that the world will buy your product. The biggest question, I think, it's not what the product is, it's not who the customer is, it's why the hell would they buy your product? To me, that's, if you can answer that.
Okay. All right. What are some of the common pitfalls and mistakes that you see consistently happening over and over again? Gwen or Sri, you probably see a lot of pitches. Do you see the same things happening over and over again?
Yeah, for me, and I guess every investor has their own lens. For me, what I get really annoyed is sometimes people, entrepreneurs haven't thought through the GTM. It's extremely theoretical, which annoys me a lot, because it's like, we could do this, we could do that. It's all Excel math, and there's no meat behind it. And so I personally like to see detailed amount of GTM. So it shows me that you've thought the problem through, you understand the problem, you understand the consumer, and you are in a position to pivot as needed. That has to come through for me.
Is it possible at the really early stage that you're investing in, where they probably don't have KPIs or any unit economics, to really understand GTM and because it's all probably pretty much
just made
theoretical,
up.
right?
Right. No, totally. And the financial projections are probably just estimates.
Yeah.
But it's the way you're thinking that you are portraying through this. Are you able to be logical about it? Are you able to go deep? And are you able to be practical? Because ideas are cheap, execution is very, very hard.
Yeah.
And having executed and operated in so many years, I know that I don't want to see just random ideas. I want to get feel the confidence in you that you can actually execute that. That's really the main thing in GTM.
So the model, we're going to, the market size is $1 gazillion. We're going to get X%, and therefore we're going to be great. That doesn't work? No? Oh. Gwen, you had some thoughts?
I was just saying, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of things, and maybe it's because I've been doing it 12 years. I know, some people have done it much longer, but I've seen it happen a few times where you get really excited about a company and they pitch at your group, and then they won't take your money. And so to put it in a context, basically, it's not by 20K that's going to fund the company, obviously, but you're expecting them to come to an angel group and have an idea of maybe they 500K or 700K or 200K round, and they've already got some, people that have pitched something and they're expecting more. But scenario A, this super hot company, they pitch and everything, and they sign that they've got a reserve, at least 300K for the band if we want to invest. But some VC swoops in, they're not available anymore. Actually, twice, happened twice. And the other company, everybody's very excited about it, but they are not ready, or whatever they are. Maybe they think, maybe we should go for another thing. And that drives me really nuts, because you spend a lot of time discussing with your colleagues and the pros and the cons, and you don't do that. So these companies and the founders, they are on my not to say S list, but they're on my blacklist forever.
So the moral of the story is, don't let VCs swoop in and fund you. Okay? Okay, last question. I know we're out of time, but I always ask this question. It's going to be slightly modified. What's the one critical, most important question that the entrepreneurs should ask VCs or investors before they take their money? Nick.
Yeah, I would say, the answer you're looking for is, how are you strategically going to help me? And if you have the right investor, they're going to already expect that and give real examples of how they can be effective. But you can ask for introductions to those people. Better yet, go to their portfolio companies and talk to, get data points around that. So who did it work with? Who did it not work with, and why? And you're going to get into bed with these people for probably 5 to 10 years. So you got to make sure that you trust them, that this can be value add.
Yeah. I would say that just like a VC is evaluating you, you have to evaluate them. So one question would be, why should I take your money? It's just like what Andre was saying.
Or in other words, why are you investing in me?
Why are you investing in me? If I'm taking your money, then why are you better than other VCs? So
Yeah, just to add to that, I think in today's world, and we look at 50, 60 companies a month, everybody's scrambling for cash. So if someone's going to invest in money, to me the biggest question is, do you understand what you're getting into? If you're going to need $50 million because you're a biotech, it's different than someone that raised $750K and then had an exit. Each market segment has very different dynamics. So you have to make sure, do they understand that they're getting into it? Like my last company was a chip company for automotive cameras. Time we signed a deal with Sony, who's a big automotive camera maker, the volume production was 7 years. And today's startups say, I'll be shipping to Honda in 3 years. Yeah, sure.
Gwen, what's the question that you would ask?
I agree with everything these people have said. You have to do diligence on the investor. But I think you could really charm an investor if, once they've decided to invest in you, you said something like, what do you most value in the companies that you've invested in? What behavior do you most like to see from the entrepreneur? How can we make sure we have a great partnership and relationship with you? If somebody ever said that to me, I heard the question earlier and I thought, I'd love that. Because our answer would probably be, we'd love for you to communicate with us at least once a quarter and send us things, ask us to help. Don't disappear, even though legally they're supposed to give you a quarterly report. 50% maybe do, 50% you don't hear from. Even when it's a fund, you badger. So that's sad because there's value, 350 people that might be able to help. So that's what I would ask.
Andre, one question entrepreneurs should ask the investors before they fund them.
I get that question too. Well, I would ask them to describe, what they invested in and what they are expecting. So it's kind of a two-way thing,
Make sure the visions are aligned. I think that's absolutely critical because where there's a misalignment of visions, it typically doesn't end up well.
But the reality of it, though, is you send a check and you never hear back from them.
Yeah.
Except when they go public.
Or they ran out of money and not much before that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate the insights. Let's give it up for the panel.
Thank you, panel. Thank you, panel. You exceeded expectations. Of course, you exceeded the time limits. That's the moderator's fault, as always.
I think Rob gives us 15 minutes knowing we'll take 30.
So now it's time for pitches. 2 minutes, no slides, 4 minutes of feedback from the panel. This is not a pitch contest. No offense to pitch contest. No one's going to get a t-shirt, hoodie, sorry to disappoint everybody, or a certificate. There's no first, second, or third place. This is a serious panel. You can tell how serious they are. Looking for serious investments, and hopefully we have serious entrepreneurs who want to get funded. Now, realistically, no one's going to write a check tonight, but hopefully you get a second conversation, which would be an outstanding outcome. So we're at a law firm, so we're in compliance. We will not have any presenters deliver an ask verbally, but all the panelists have received the written summaries, executive summaries from our presenters, and they may have a dollar amount in mind in a written format. So that being said, we're ready for our first panelist. By the way, Joe is our timekeeper and our bouncer, so if you exceed the time limits, you'll have to deal with Joe. Enough said. So first up, we have Peter and Moto. Applause.
I can get you really pass through so you know what I'm talking about visually. Okay, all right, I'll get into that. Okay, all right. Okay, so my name is Peter Hughes, and I'm representing Moto, which is a revolutionary hitch-mounted motorcycle tow apparatus that provides safe and simple towing of most motorcycles behind most passenger vehicles, not just SUVs and trucks. Unlike two-wheel trailers, which can limit towing speeds to 55 miles per hour, our product works with your motorcycle's already fantastic suspension to deliver unprecedented towing speeds and efficiencies while requiring zero maintenance or registration. Moto charges electric motorcycles in transit, enabling more and longer rides, especially in remote locations. Rent a Moto unit along with your RV and favorite motorcycle for the ultimate Pacific Coast highway vacation. Roadside assistance, including towing, can now be accomplished with the use of an economical small to medium-sized passenger vehicle instead of just large trucks, facilitating right-sized roadside assistance and ride-sharing for motorcyclists. Perfect for a worry-free night on the town, knowing that you and your bike will be safely transported back to your home quickly and at low cost. Owing to Moto's obvious value and compelling use cases, the manufacturer of our closest but distant competition clearly sees the potential of our device and therefore placed a non-expiring PO for 50 units. Sales of new motorcycles worldwide exceeded 60 million units in 2022, contributing to a nearly $100 billion market. Of the roughly 9 million motorcycles with current U.S. registrations, our growth projections for Moto show us selling just 1,000 units in year 1, 12,000 units in year 3, and 40,000 units in year 5. Our first profitable year is anticipated in year 2, and all investment should be repaid in year 3. After just 5 years in operation, U.S. sales of Moto are projected to have generated more than $50 million in cumulative profit, an amount that we expect to earn annually by year 10. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. $29.95. $29.95. $2,995. So a lot of the typical customer here is going to have a $20,000 to $30,000 motorcycle and a $50,000 to $100,000+ car. A tow hitch for a Toyota costs $1,700 to install, and this is far more complex and far more functional. You have to install a tow hitch, which you can get done at U-Haul, way cheaper than Toyota. They're going to be pissed off that I said that, but you can. Class 3 standard hitch. The reason why this product works and no one has done it properly before is because it splits the weight of the motorcycle 50% on the ground and 50% on the tow hitch, and then you've got the weight of the tow hitch. So if you've got an 800-pound bike and you add a 100-pound tow hitch to that, you're now at under 500 pounds, which is below the rating of a typical class, all class 3 trailer hitches. I'm sorry? United States first. It comprises 3/4 of the world market.
Is it DTC or?
D2C, it'll go through U-Haul. All the rental agencies will buy this. All the dealerships will deliver motorcycles with this because otherwise they're in a big trailer and that it takes up a huge amount of room on their lot and they have to maintain those. So this is so much easier for them to deliver motorcycles. Individuals, so my use case, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and we go on vacations for my son who's a competitive athlete. And so we're going all over. We're driving for, who knows how many hours. At one point we went to Arizona. And when I get there, I want to have my motorcycle with me. So that's why I want it. But the majority of the use case are going to be people who are relatively high net worth individuals. They have a really fancy car, they have a really fancy motorcycle, and they want to combine the two without losing out the fun of driving their fancy car. Because if you've got a 2-wheel trailer off the back of that fancy car, you're now restricted to 55 miles an hour and you're not going to have any fun at all. You should have just brought your truck.
Is there any regulatory agency you have to get this thing approved?
DOT is going to follow us. There are no current regulations on this because it is not a trailer, which is why it does not require registration. It does not require separate lights. The lights are on your motorcycle. You connect your motorcycle lights up to the car, or you put secondary lights on the motorcycle and connect those up to the car. Either way, it's all on the motorcycle.
You say it has wheels, but it's not a
trailer. It has no wheels. It relies on the wheels of the motorcycle. The intellectual property is that way of towing. It's never been done before. I'm happy to show you the patent application. Applied.
How many people are like you? How many, in other words, what's your market size, really?
So the market size for motorcycles worldwide last year was...
People who want to haul their motorcycle because they're going somewhere.
60 million total motorcycle sales, 9 million motorcycles with current registrations in the United States. I think we're going to get 25,000 sales after 4 or 5 years, if I recall correctly.
What are your margins?
Margins are quite high. Total cost of goods sold is $805 per unit, and we are selling it for $29.95, so we're doing quite well on margins. U-Haul could buy us. There are a number of trailer manufacturers, competitors, but we're kind of creating a new market, so I don't know that we would cleanly fit anywhere.
Excellent.
All right, next up we have Simon from Chalkbooks. Applause.
Hello, everyone. My name is Simon Tumansky. I'm the founder and CEO of Chalkbooks. We are a vertical B2B SaaS company helping private schools be better funded. So some of you may have kids in private schools, or maybe you've attended private school yourself. If you didn't know this, over 6 million children get educated by private schools every year, and they earn over $90 billion in annual revenue. 26% of that comes from fundraising. So they go out to folks and ask them for donations. If they want to build new buildings or renovate existing buildings or establish endowments, they have to fundraise. The size of the campaigns may vary, but most of these schools are running campaigns anywhere from a few $1 million to hundreds of millions. And so for a Kendra, an advancement director, that's a typical title of a person who will be targeting, she's overwhelmed with the different plethora of 5 to 6 tools that she's using to do her job. And at the end of the day, she ends up not having the right context to be able to reach her potential donors effectively. Because all the communication is disconnected, it's in MailChimp, it's in her personal email, and she ends up losing millions of dollars because she can't make effective asks for the gifts. Chalkbooks modernizes her workflow. It allows her to consolidate all of the different communications that she's doing with her constituents. Leveraging AI and automation, we basically help her communicate more effectively and help her do what she does best, which is going out of the building and building relationships with donors and getting bigger donations. We've reached 47,000 ARR since we launched 12 months ago. Over 3.5 months ago, we onboarded our first customer, and since then we've signed 9 more schools. We've also signed the Branson School, which is a prominent school up in Marin, and we have a plan with this additional capital to go up market and sell to bigger schools and increase our ACVs, which are currently running at about 5,000, but with this move up market, we'll be looking at 15,000 per school. Thank you.
So congratulations on the 47K. It's pretty exciting. Have you had any churn yet?
No churn.
That's huge.
Customer obsessed. So I want to make sure that I personally handle every single school.
Stick that into your pitch. The zero churn thing is really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then what are your strategic relationships like to continue to scale? I imagine probably connections to administrators, so on and so forth.
Yeah, great question. So we have actually signed up Phillips Exeter Academy as one of our advisors. They haven't become a customer yet, but we're exploring several use cases. One of those is creating AI-generated prospect research reports. So believe it or not, they spend $500,000 a year on prospect research. They have a team of 3 people who are sitting in a room and doing analysis, and they're paying $500,000 to these 3 people. And so if I tell them, hey, I can save you 1/3 of those, they would be willing to pay us, $50,000 for this product. That would create the work of basically replace the work of those folks.
Yeah, so is this product also, can it scale to colleges? Or did you mean that?
It's a great question.
So that's one. And the second question, I'm going to just keep asking quickly.
Yes,
so you can, and then why is this so different than me using a HubSpot or any other CRM out there, which Airtable,
Wonderful
so
question.
many tools.
Yes. So actually, let me answer sequentially. So the first question is, yes, it can scale to universities. There are definitely slightly bigger teams and slightly more complex workflows. There are definitely of universities that are out there. There are universities that are the size of large private schools, which we will eventually target. That's part of our expansion. We do want to stay in this vertical though, as long as we can, so we can build the best vertical specific product. And to answer your second question, what makes it a vertical specific CRM or fundraising workflow software unique? What makes it unique is the information that's in it. So we natively capture student grade, student name, the relationship, the household, and all of that information is kept in our system. We also record who is serving any kind of trustee or committee terms within a school, because that information is important for fundraising. And so that's how we're different from HubSpot. And we natively capture that information. The person or the school doesn't have to customize the database. So obviously if they had a ton of money, they could make Salesforce do the same thing. But we build it from the beginning such that they just put the data in and it works.
Have you thought of not charging fees and just getting success fees, a percentage?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually monetize in 2 ways. Our first monetization is SaaS, and our second monetization is payment take rate. In terms of after doing all this work, estimating the market size, the actual SaaS portion is bigger than payment monetization. And the bigger donations that are million plus usually go direct to bank account of the school. So we basically can't touch them. And as a result, although we do monetize payments because money moves through our platform, I think a bigger opportunity is subscription.
Don't you have sometimes a situation where the school has a really good system, I don't know, and they are reluctant to adopt something new? Or?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a strategy when we move up market, which as I was mentioning with the Branson School, and schools like Phillips Exeter Academy, those schools have an existing system in place, and we will build an integration and sell modules on top of that system. One of those modules is what we call a trustee and campaign management module, where we help the school manage the communication with their trustees. And so that way we get into those schools that have those existing systems, and that kind of lowers the barrier to entry for us into those big brand schools.
I would say how much capital do you need overall?
Overall, we're raising 1.5 in this round. We've already raised 1 million in a prior, like when we started in pre-seed. But 1.5 is what we need to be able to go up to those bigger schools to complete the build of the product, and to be able to ramp up our sales to go after them, basically. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Great.
That sounds awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Jay from What's Up. Applause.
Hello, I'm Jay from What's Up. Today we live in a world where we can subscribe anything. We can subscribe to food, softwares, and we can subscribe to some features on your cars. But when I ask, how many subscriptions do you have? And when do you pay for all those? Can you answer them? Well, if you can't answer them, you don't have to worry. 8 out of 10 people can't answer these questions. And these are the problems that we're trying to solve in What's Up. On WhatsApp app, you can track your subscriptions, you can postpone your payment dates, you can cancel your subscriptions, and you can even find new alternative subscriptions on the WhatsApp app. So you don't have to go to Netflix to cancel your subscriptions. You don't have to go to Amazon.com, sign up. You don't have to register your payment methods on Amazon.com and select your plan. We're actually a team from Korea, and we're seeing a lot of traction in the Korean market. We have 200,000 users in Korea, and we've raised $2.6 million in our last funding round. And we're partnering with #1 F&B player in the Korean side and one of the top 3 mobile carriers in the Korean market. And this year we launched our B2B AI solution where we provide profile informations of the customers, and we were able to get $500,000 of revenue in July this year. Yeah. We've come to SF, we come to US to expand this service to the US side, since US is the motherland of the subscription market. And US accounts for 50% of the $600 billion subscription market, so I think we're in the right place.
So what's the mechanism by which you can cancel my Netflix without me going there?
Yeah, so you don't have to actually go to the Netflix URL. You just have to type your credentials on our WhatsApp app. Then we have our developers making the automation part, so it will automatically cancel your service without you having to pressing on a lot of buttons.
And you manage the remaining time and all of that stuff that comes with subscription. You may get an extra,
Yeah, we manage all those. What was the question again?
I mean, sometimes, you obviously have, unless you cancel on the expiration date, you have extra time.
I guess if you cancel before your expiration date, you can use the service until the expiration date.
So as a user, I'm trying to figure out, why I would use this service and how much money will I save, because I'm also paying you for the service. So it's another subscription from my side.
So many of our competitors in the US side, they actually charge you as a recurring model. So you have to pay like $3.99 every month to track your subscriptions. But since many people have complaints about having another subscription to track subscriptions, we actually made this a once paid app. So you have when you pay $10, you'll have the service for free. And the business model we have is the B2B side and the B2C side, where we have an e-commerce, so you can get discover new alternatives of the service that you already use. And if you change to that alternative, we will get like 10% commission out of it. And informations are also used in the B2B side, so we have both B2C and B2B revenue.
looks like you already raised money. So I mean, why you're looking for more funds? Or
Oh, so those money are the Korean capital monies. We already started in the Korean market, and we are trying to expand to the U.S. market since the Netflix, it's U.S. service, right? Everybody uses Netflix worldwide, but it's a Netflix service. And as I told you, 50% of the $600 billion market is in U.S. So why not expand to U.S.? And for the expansion, we are asking $5 million for the next round.
So another question. So if someone's subscription is about to expire, you send them notice and say.
Yep. We give 2 notices 3 days before and 24 hours before your payments are made.
And then do you extend the subscription so you have credit card data?
Yep.
So is there any risk, and how do you protect that if somebody?
Oh yeah, of course. We have privacy, and we had data, zero data leakage, and we are right now securely managing $20 billion of transactions, and there has been no data leakage.
So when somebody says, yeah, I want to get rid of this app, do you promote alternatives? Is that partly how you?
Oh, no. We don't promote alternatives. People
But
might not like
if somebody chooses an alternative, you get a commission.
Yeah. So
How do they discover that alternative?
Oh, so we actually have an e-commerce on our apps. So there are subscriptable services or products you can just look into the e-commerce part, and we do give notifications that if you would like this service or not after like 1 month of your cancellation, since people are like nomads. They want to use that service for a while, they don't want to use the service for a while. So when people feel like after like a week or a month they want to use it again, we expect that person might want to use it in next month, so we recommend those alternative services.
Might be kind of interesting to gamify. Like the more people save, the more points they get. Then maybe you can go to other subscriptions that you recommend based on their profile.
That's one of the strategies we're trying to explore.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask similar to what Nick is saying. You know, like you have Honey and you have all these coupon discount businesses. How do you compare to that? Like, because there are some similarities to that.
Similarities with coupons?
You know, where it's the e-commerce angle of your business sounds very similar to a company. For example, Honey is an example I can give you. Do you know who they are? PayPal bought them a couple of years ago.
Okay. So what we're trying to do in like long future is self-driving finance and life care. So like all the companies are moving on to the subscription business models right now, and everything you do or buy in your life would be a subscription. So you have to manage them. Like you want to use it, you want to cancel it, you want to postpone it. So yeah, it's not only about the coupons. Like it's all about the cycle.
All right, next up we have Javed from Bodyometer. Applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Javad. I am the CEO and co-founder of Bodyometer, which provides AI solutions to track and measure biomechanical data. 1 in 2 American adults suffers from musculoskeletal conditions, and that costs $213 billion each year to our economy in direct and indirect costs. Myself, a few years ago, got injured and suffered from these musculoskeletal conditions, visited a physical therapist. After a couple of sessions, I felt no pain and self-discharged myself, which was a poor decision with poor outcomes, and still to date, I am suffering from this chronic pain. That's why I decided to build a Bodyometer's patient engagement platform and enable patients in clinic to use the iPad or at home iPhone to measure their body mechanics, like we have a 30 seconds posture report. On top of that, we layer it with 17 different quality of life metrics and build a two-sided dashboard and use predictive metrics in our proprietary machine learning algorithms to show patients what would be the future stage of their pain, posture, function, in order to come up with the agreement on the best mutual discharge point. Right now, we are selling this as a subscription. We have early customers, validation in the market, But last year, Medicare introduced remote patient monitoring billing code, and that enabled a unique opportunity for us to come to the US. That's why I came here this month from Canada to build our US operations and build our retraction, raise the seed round fund to run a 2-year clinical trial in a chain of outpatient physical therapy clinics, and that directly builds Medicare. And success of that 10x on revenue and position Bodyometer as a new standard of care to improve quality of life of millions of people. Thank you very much.
If the business go there, how you make money?
License, subscription license right now. As I mentioned, we also want to go to the revenue share model.
How much money are you trying to raise and what valuation? How much money are you trying to raise?
Oh, we are raising $750K on a 3 million pre-money
Safe,
valuation.
no,
Safe.
safe. Investors hate safes, you know that.
Absolutely.
In today's tough world, you may want to consider convertible notes as being a preferred vehicle.
So is it the patient that pays and it is going to be reimbursed?
The clinics are our customers right now. We have a B2B sales model, and kind of revenue share is also amount of the revenue that we can generate for them. We take a percentage of that. And the amount of revenue is, with this reimbursement, is big, because right now, for each patient, Medicare pays $100 per month on these codes. And with a typical clinic, which has, let's say, $40,000 revenue per month, that adds up to additional $2,500 per month. So we take half of that. That's the plan, in the minimum. So more advanced clinics, they see probably upwards of $10,000 additional revenue, which they are living in the table right now.
And
We just need to register no, not approval.
How many users do you have? How many clinics have you sold to?
Currently, we have anchor clinics. We are piloting in kind of 10 clinics right now, 1 hospital, 3 schools, 7 outpatient clinics, and those are just anchor customers.
Are
that
they
we
all
had
in
validation.
Canada? Are they all in Canada?
No, actually, we have a few licenses. As I came here earlier this month in the Life West Chiropractic College in Hayward, in their Technology Health Center, and their actually new location in Nebraska. We have also a clinic in the Pima Medical Institute, San Marcos, Southern California, who is using our
Is your
technology.
company headquartered in the U.S. or you're Canadian?
We just kind of incorporated Delaware C Corp last week, so we are right now a U.S. company.
How's the patient retention? Because there's so many remote management, but the patients usually don't engage as much. It's a pain. So I'd love to hear about that.
And since I have been there, I totally understand. It took me 7 years to become attached to my, not that if someone tells me, because I see those graphs. If they kind of drop before inflection point, like what I did, then it will be additional costs. So there are different psychological behavior that patients drop. But the bottom line is that we increase the long-term value of care for them. And that's what is right now the missing ingredient in all of our competitors, bigger even competitors with bigger pockets. And with additional 2 visits per month, we, again, typical 40,000 revenue clinic, we add 6,500 additional revenue to them. So again, that's the value that we generate.
So are you displacing other solutions that are used today, or is this a brand new opportunity?
We try to just position ourselves as a kind of tool in their toolbox, an assistive technology, but eventually we want to integrate with their EMR because they hate to enter same information in multiple solutions. That's part of our strategy.
Are you going to use anything with the data that you collect? So are there graphs, like medical graphs that can help assist doctors?
Exactly. We are a layer on top of the current EMRs. Yeah.
Have you looked into integrating within the Apple Health Developer Kit?
We thought about it, but not yet. To be
Maybe
honest.
down the line.
Because we have down the line, we have a consumer. We have, without any marketing, 10,000 patient downloads from our app, which is kept it free. But the value for that is that this data that we generate over time will provide psychographic, demographic from the people with different behaviors. That by itself is super valuable because it provides baselines for normative data, which is one of the most unknowns in the health care.
Personalized, right?
Absolutely.
And maybe patient adherence, that data for the hospitals could be valuable.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the hospitals that I'm talking to is Hoag Memorial in Southern California. I'm going to pitch them as well with this study.
I just suggest it would be so powerful if you had 1 or 2 or 3 only, just compelling examples of people who came in. Here's what they did. 3 months later, here's what they did. 12 months later, kaboom, wow. Imagine this can be deployed, boom, 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 boom. And then proof points from Canada. Honestly, our healthcare system is such a disaster to even try to understand. And 5 years later, you still won't. So, but if you had those examples, then you could say, I'm in the US now because I'm ready to tackle this market.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't have a clear sense that you've got those data points yet.
We are going, I am meeting with a group that are based on a hospital in Ontario. That those are the first hospital validation study that is ongoing. We finished the baseline correction on 120 post-surgical patients. It's like a joint replacement hospital. Yeah. And we are still a few months away from that study.
We wish we had it here. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Amin from Figaro. Applause.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, my name is Amin, and my background is AI and trading. So I'm trading like a stock and cryptocurrency. And I was pretty successful recently, like through the NVIDIA. I bought a lot of NVIDIA, and I was really profitable. Yeah. Detect Dogecoin trend, and also Austin housing market. Like I bought a few properties and rent them out. So I was pretty good. So the proof is here. The story is that, I got through a lot of diligence, a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work. Like every day I should wake up and try to figure about this trend. So my app really helped me that I'm gonna talk that, then I learned that this is so difficult. Oh, okay. And it's so difficult. And I tried to automate all the process, came up with a transformer-based AI engine, and also automate all this scrapping and the work. And actually the AI did better than me. So AI took over my job. And the business model, I call it, is called B2Me business, business model. And it was pretty good, but I thought I make a few $100K per year, and it's okay, like by detecting the trend, but it doesn't make me an IPO or unicorn, and I cannot be a billionaire. I thought, as I have free time, let's come up with other business model. I tried the B2B business model, and actually the thing was that I email all the hedge funder, provide them access without expecting them to reply back, and they like that, and many of them use that. I can monitor the usage, and I'm waiting. Don't tell them, but I'm gonna get back as soon as they get hooked. I'm gonna come for say, okay, let's make it commission based or subscribe based. Also, I wanted to try the B2C business model. I created an app. It's a Fingaroo or Financial Kangaroo. You can download that. As soon as you see it, I said, oh yeah, this is like so better than whatever is in the market. So also organically with no effort, no marketing, nothing, like people download that, and it's making $1,000 per month with no effort. Recently I launched, so I'm done. The points you mentioned, it was like here. Sorry, yeah, 2 minutes was a bit short.
How does the app make money? What are you selling in the app? How does the app make money?
Oh, the app is subscription based. Yeah, different tiers, like I start from $10, and for 3 months I let people to use that to see the value. It's not like all other spam. And actually when they see the value, they pay.
Is there any free version?
Yeah, for 3 months.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all the data?
Everywhere, like I scrap all these website, sentiment of the market from social media and the news.
Isn't this what every hedge fund and everybody's doing this?
Okay, but the thing is, like Bloomberg GPT is gonna come up with a platform, but it takes some time. I'm a startup, I'm so agile, I can come up with a transformer-based neural network to be able to digest better this data, and I think this is my core competency.
Can you give us some examples of what you've done recently where got pretty well?
Recently got way better. I mean, this NVIDIA is a good proof I can show you, but kind of, the data I collect, it's like 5-6 years I try to find the different sources. Somehow I found some sort of secret sauce, and I can't, provide the proof.
No, I think what we're asking is you're talking about your individual in success.
Yeah.
We're looking at more of a macro that your
Create
recommendation.
something that's repeatable. Like,
And
how long has it been in the
it's
app store?
3-4
If you
years, of
had
course.
like 15-20% over the last 6 months, that's not going to dictate if you had like 2, 3, 4 years of
Of
data.
course, yeah, you never know. For 3 years it worked, so maybe next year some other startup come and take over. This is what it is how the Silicon Valley works. But so far it's doing
And how do
pretty
you
well.
compete with like Robin? This is the thing
Robin-
that everybody just thinks of when it comes to.
Robinhood and all these platforms are not end-to-end. They don't provide you recommendation, email you, message you, and tell you this is the time to, this trend initiate, and this is the time to sell. This is end-to-end. And, all it's so educational, and it's gonna tell you, like, detect 3-4 trends per year. It's not like every day, like day trading or option trading. It's a little bit different with what you can see in the market. Just look for the trends, like, and it's pretty agnostic. It's not just about stock or cryptocurrency. Like housing in Austin is another one from another engine I have, like it's predicted. Okay,
Are you doing like portfolio reallocation?
Portfolio management,
It's like
asset
once a month, 5 times a month. How does it work?
It depends. Like, let's say this year I had 2 occasions.
This is based on risk tolerance?
Based on risk tolerance, and also, the one that I'm 100% sure. I'm not doing that every day. Like, I'm waiting for the right moment. Like, NVIDIA, I was sure I put like more than half of my saving because I was like, the confidence was so high. In the app, it's mentioned all the confidence and the risk factors.
And so you felt confident about allocating that much in NVIDIA because of your IP, your technology?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm interested.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
How much money are you raising?
Yeah. 8 million.
What's the average percent of return on investment? Like,
As I have 2 successful POC, I think it's so quick, right? With no marketing and ad, I could like make $1,000 per month, right? I think if we put some money, like a little bit of money, we are gonna see quickly the return. So also, I'm gonna test drive the B2B model soon, like in a few months, as soon as this hedge funder get hooked.
but if you put like a percentage on it, like the market on average can get like 8-10%, but with,
about
with
the-
Figaro, we did 20%.
Okay,
What would it be?
25% in the past 3 months, let's say in average. But some portfolio was crazy. Like always in the past 3 years, always above the S&P 500 on all the metrics. I beat all the benchmarks.
You've been tracking for the last 3 years.
Last 3 years.
What's the average ROI percentage-wise over the last
Let's
3
say
years?
20%. This
Not
year,
bad.
this year so far 25%.
Over what? 25%? Say that. Over 3 years.
25%
per year?
Per year.
Okay.
It's-
How much of that was
That-
NVIDIA?
Yeah, per year.
And it's 1,000, when you're saying you have 1,100 users, and they make about $1,000 each month without any ad. For how long? What is that duration?
This is so recent. I had another gaming app, so it is like the user, the numbers are, I'm not sure 100% about this topic, but I released last month. And in a month, people started to, maybe the older user with the former version, but right now, seems this is it, and it's pretty cool. Monitoring, and probably we can catch up and together monitor that, and when we make sure be able to discuss more in detail. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Rob.
All right, next up we have Shuba and South Bay Naturals. Applause.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. I'm Shubha from South Bay Naturals. South Bay Naturals offers 100% natural Indian fusion sodas. We have Jaljeera soda, which is a 15-calorie mint lemon cilantro soda made with California mint and lemons. And we have Panagam soda, which is a sweet ginger. Yeah, all of you, most of you have our sodas. Delicious. And many of you have told me it's delicious. Thank you. So Panagam soda is a South Indian, Panagam is a South Indian drink, and we made it into a soda. It's a ginger, lemon, cardamom soda with an Indian twist. And we sell our products at most Indian grocery stores. We launched in 2021, and we are, we now have a distributor who can ship our products to about 150 grocery stores. We sell online, and we sell at California Shops Mall, and we also sell at Indian festivals in the Bay Area. People, Peter, how do you like? Is he around? Okay. Many people have told me they love it. Customers have said it. Thank you, thank you. All right. So yeah, we have received feedback that our drink is a magic drink and people love our sodas. It is 100% natural with no additives or preservatives. So our chemist, our our founder is an organic chemist with 25 years of beverage industry experience. He certainly knows what he's doing. So thank you all. That's about it.
So I'm curious, what is the production quantity so far? How much do you produce?
We produce about 5,000 cans every month.
And where do you do that?
We have a co-packer.
Oh yeah, a co-packer, huh?
Yeah.
And where are they located?
They are in Northern California.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you have to, and is it a lot of transportation?
It's, yeah.
And just curious, because these co-packers, they take a lot of value, obviously, for themselves. I mean, they are the ones making everything, right? So how does it work for the profitability?
So it's about 33% profit for us. ROI is 33% for us. Yeah. And
even after you use a distributor?
Yes. Before that, it was 47%. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm curious why you are seeking angel investments and versus traditional, product marketing companies.
Yes. So if you've heard of liquid death, you know what marketing and investment can do for a business. So we are looking to scale and accelerate fast, rapidly.
That's true. I totally get it. And,
Yes.
it's interest free. It's equity based businesses
Right.
always work like that. But I guess what I'm asking is, when angels and VCs are looking at a business, they're looking at exits and what that will look like and ability to scale. That's why technology companies generally get a lot of that VC funding, right? So can you help me think in terms of how would we be able,
So right now our profit margin is 33%. If we scale and venture into broader markets, our profit margin would probably increase to 50%. Because once the production goes up, believe it or not, the bottom line actually increases for us in our case, in soda manufacturing. So we order more and we pay less per can.
So the 21,000 is for last year's revenue. Is that gross revenue or
Yes.
net? Okay.
Yes, gross.
And what does next year look like? You're doing about 5,000 cans a month.
Yes, it's probably going to double next year.
Wow.
With our distribution and everything.
Okay.
Have you tried going into the non-Indian stores, and is it particularly hard? I don't know,
We have to.
Costco, all these guys.
Yes, we
Whole
spoke to Costco and they're very interested in us, but we have to rebrand our product and spend a lot on marketing before we,
Why do you have to rebrand?
because do you know what Jaljeera is?
No,
Yeah.
I see. People don't know what it is when they look at the can.
But when they look at the can, it has this picture of the mint, lemon, and cilantro, and it explains that it has no additives and everything.
I see.
And the ingredients are also listed on the can. But it's very famous in India as an Indian drink, Jaljeera, but we made it into a soda. Yeah.
A technical question. I realize you're experts in juices, but how do you make sure it doesn't ferment into alcohol?
We have a fantastic process. We pasteurize and, it doesn't.
Pasteurization.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our sodas have a very long shelf life of about 8 months.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thank you.
The challenge is getting shelf space,
Yeah.
because there are lots of startups trying to do variations of new drinks.
But there aren't many Indian fusion sodas in the market.
So are you in some stores already?
We are in almost all of the major Indian grocery stores.
Oh, how many of those are there?
There are about 30. There are about 150 through our distributor, but we've gotten to 30 now as repeat customers who order from us. That's why we're making like 5,000 a month.
It's not hard to find berries. How do you source them? How do you source your fruit?
We don't have berries. We used to. We pivoted. We've done all that you guys talked about. We've pivoted during COVID. The first time we started a business, it didn't work out. So the second time we had berry juices, and we pivoted to make locally available mint and lemon and cilantro from California after COVID. Yeah.
What's your background?
I have a background in communications and corporate, technology. And my husband, he's the organic chemist.
All right. Is that the team?
For now, yes, we use a co-packer, we use a distributor, we use contract manufacturers whenever we need them. We outsource all of our, accounting and everything.
So what's the valuation and how much are you raising?
We are asking for $1 million, and we will work out the equity. We thought we could give you a stake of maybe 15% to start with. 1.5.
That's like a 9 million valuation or something?
Well, it's a great idea, and people love it. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, next up we have Kristen and Connect Healing. Applause.
Thank you. Your health is your wealth. Without it, all other things are insignificant. I struggled with fibromyalgia for 25 years and tried to seek out help unsuccessfully through the current system. 3 years ago, I sought out alternative medicine and healed without pharmaceuticals. So I've been pain-free, no symptoms for the last 3 years. Our current system, we see an increase in mental health issues, physical issues, largely due to stress. Largely because there's a gap in communication between physicians, gap in collaboration with physicians, there's a delay in seeing physicians, and also they deal with the symptoms versus the root cause. So that pushed me to retire. I'm a retired toxicologist. I used to run a statewide crime lab for DOJ. Retired last year, put in my own capital into Connect for Healing. Imagine this, Gwen. Yes, I love it. Created a place, a space that had all providers of all modalities, in allopathic medicine all the way to sound therapy, making it easy for patients and clients to be able to go on through a very easy search. They can meet on in-person, one-on-one sessions in classes, plus educational content to prevent illness. The serviceable market in the U.S. is $4 billion. Currently, I have 55 providers with their paying clients ready to go on the platform. My break-even is 44. 44 providers with their clients, yes, with assumptions. So come join me in supporting Connect for Healing. Oh, by the way, my competitors, Heal Me and Shopra, they lack some of the features that I have. They don't include all of the providers, or they are not HIPAA compliant, or they do not have some of the other features such as video or allow in-person and educational content. Thank you very much.
So I've got two questions for you. First question is, how much are you trying to raise? At what valuation? And second of all, where are you? Are you already in business? Is this just an idea, or how far along in your development?
Great questions. So I'm a startup. I have the platform completed. There are some features that need to be updated and fixed. I am looking up to 1 million. I say up to 1 million because it depends, right? So where am I is basically, if I have the funds to address the issues with the platform, which I have the person to do that.
What terms?
Excuse me?
What terms for the 1 million? Valuation.
3 million.
Oh, 3 million.
Huh?
3 million.
3 million.
Okay, so the valuation is 3 million.
Pardon me?
The valuation.
That is correct, sir. Yes. Yes, that is correct. And if you're thinking ahead, if you're looking at exit strategy, I'm thinking within 5 years, maybe less. And I would like to be self-sufficient, not looking for additional funds after that. In fact, my initial intent was I'm the party of one. I'm doing this myself. Right now, I have advisors. Was to try to scale it on my own, bootstrap, which I've been doing. And but this will actually get it out there faster. I have the providers begging me daily, can you get this going? Can you get this going? Yes.
Are you really a retired toxicologist
Yes.
from the Department of Justice Crime Lab?
Yes, I was a director, and for 24 years, that's how I served.
I love that. You should
And I
start with
pivoted. Thank you. I appreciate that. I couldn't fit it in the 2 minutes.
So mental health is a really huge issue. One of
Yes.
our investments that we made 6 years ago has now grown in value to $250 million in 5 years. And there are very few solutions that work for mental health. So
Yes.
it's quite interesting.
The key is, I study Ayurveda also, doesn't really cost you much. And I didn't use any pharmaceuticals at all. I was resistant to that. And so the last 3 years is change of routine, diet, exercise, meditation locked it in.
Whereabouts are you based? In the area?
Well, I'm currently in Mount Shasta, but I'm back and forth between there and here.
Oh, you're close by. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't see that.
I do. It's land, water over here, but I do come into town every other week because I do health and wellness consulting in Los Altos 4 days a month.
You said there was 40 or 50 folks that are ready to get on the platform?
55 providers bringing their paid clients. I also have a list of clients in addition to that want to go on and use it.
How soon is that going to happen?
Great question. Thank you. As soon as I get the funds to get these things fixed, he said it will take 5 weeks, 2 weeks to test. So 7 weeks total to launch, another 2 weeks for the onboarding. So 9 weeks total.
Is there any way that you can accomplish that without raising capital?
It'll
Like maybe take. Yeah, but I'm thinking like
Yes.
take some of the functionality out, get people working on it, right? So you can.
There is a way to do it, and I could do it, and that was my first option, but it's going to take longer. And with, just because I'm getting the push from the providers to do this now, because I'm covering the overhead on my own.
So
That's-
what's the feedback from? You say you have an MVP with feedback.
I do.
Which I'm building
I do.
on next
I have
question.
I have feedback of providers that are already signed up on there, and they love it. And I'm very picky because it's the minimal. I want it like to have the bells and whistles right now, and they're like, no, this is great. And the one thing I forgot to mention is the overhead is substantially less than other telemedicine and other providers. Or
Kristen, is it a marketplace? I'm trying to figure this out. It's a marketplace, right?
Yes.
So, so why are the providers wanting to bring their customers on your platform?
Because the overhead is less, and because all of the providers can collaborate on care, they're going to get referrals from other providers on there.
If the overhead is less, there might be an interesting conversation around ROI or total cost of ownership that you could communicate to make it, quicker conversion for customers.
I thought about getting some paid customers ahead of time and then reducing their cost. That is an option I can do. But again, there's
lots of things. Yeah, we
Yes.
can talk offline. But I'm more worried for you in terms of your marketing costs, because these kind of things you'll have to do a lot of marketing over time. I understand your point of network
Yes.
effects.
Yeah.
The initial network effects you will get, but as you're trying to grow it, you will need a lot of marketing.
That's built into the costs already. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's time for our final presenter of the night. Last but not least, let's hear for Tadashi and IPP. Applause.
Hi everyone. I'm Tadashi from IPP, Instant Pay Pros. So what we do is we create a platform where employers can post temporary jobs and the employees can get the job that pays on the same day. So for example, let's say you guys are a restaurant owner, right? But your dishwasher guy is sick, but you need a dishwasher just to get through the day. So you go on our website, you post jobs, and then for employees, you go on the website, just hit the apply button, and then if you get matched, for employees, you can just go to the restaurant and then do the dishes and then get paid on the same day. And so for now, we're mainly targeting non-skilled workers, specifically dishwashers and housekeepers. But soon, we are expanding this business to other jobs such as like tutoring, furniture assembling, babysitting, and more. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
Is it legal? Because, I mean, labor is so controlled here, and you have to do payroll every 2 weeks. And so how do you handle all of the compliance?
You get paid on time. So we pay employees on the same day, and the employers pay me at the end of the month.
And who does the EDD and all that jazz and the W-2s and all these things?
Well, so we are still in like very early stage, so we don't have like attorneys and everything, but so we are not quite sure about that, to be honest. Yeah.
And how are you different from there are so many platforms which earn in so many.
The main difference is we pay on the same day. So Uber, DoorDash, you get paid weekly. Yeah.
What kind of unique IP or technology could you bake into this to make you a suitable target for acquisition?
Well, what I'm thinking right now is like on the same day pay, but for now, I don't know.
I don't know if you can patent that. Maybe we should ask our resident attorney.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough. But, you know, I think you're going to have a lot of data. You know, data about the employers, data about the folks that you're employing for these employers, and you'll have a lot of external data as well. Maybe the way in which you manipulate that data, you know, you'll have your algorithms that will, you know, provide some ranking, measuring, weighting, matching, and if there's any, you know, particular output that may, you know, differentiate you. Maybe
Yeah. Also, what I'm thinking is to make sure our platform is safe. We are trying to do a two-way rating system, which means if you're an employer, you can rate employees, and if you're an employee, you can rate employers. And then we also do the background check for employees when they sign up.
So is this a subscription model?
Yeah, subscription model.
But if they get a job right away, then they...
Subscription, but mainly like we charge employers for 50% of the wage. It's like a service fee.
High volume. Because
Yeah. So like when you guys match and then the employees does a good job, you pay extra 15% on top of the wage.
How do you manage liability?
We're trying to get a business insurance or something, but we are not there yet. So.
I was thinking the same thing. You know, something that I think that you're probably going to have to do sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for any employer that's bringing on somebody, a stranger, for the day, and you're doing the background checks, I presume?
We're like use like some other companies to do the background check.
But you're verifying and you're doing the background checks through a third-party provider, you know, for the party that you're sending.
Yeah, so we are trying to do like a quick phone call to make sure the person is right, and then we just gonna ask like basic questions. So like if you have any experience or like, you know, make sure like you have no criminal record or, you know.
It's not curated, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not managed.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Rob, before you take the mic, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, every time people present, they should make sure that they have their email ID or some kind of
I
contact
told them,
information. I'm missing at least one.
Well, I told them if
Where's
they
your,
want to be
you have no
contacted.
contact info here.
And Jay, if you're still here in the audience.
Maybe they
please
don't want to
send
be
a-
contacted.
Maybe they don't want to raise.
Like Andre said, they're pitching and then, you know.
You want a few minutes for a wrap up?
Yeah,
You
sure.
gobsmacked again?
Absolutely. I'm just not used to getting
5 minutes.
I'm not
3
used to
minutes.
getting extra from you,
Right,
Rob.
2 minutes. Joe's gonna monitor.
Okay, so just an extra 10 minutes. All right. Well, let's just sort of open it up to the panel here. You heard some pitches tonight, and maybe you can give some generic feedback, some sort of collective wisdom on things that you really enjoyed, and maybe some things that people could do a little bit better on, without getting specific.
Well, I thought that the quality of all the pitches was superb. The quality is normally pretty good, but today I just feel like everybody had unique insight into the problem they were solving. We started off with Peter. Peter, I think we should have. We should. I want to see a picture of the product on here, so that might be kind of helpful.
I can just give a couple of points. Sell the vision. You know, for example, some of the startup CEOs did a good job explaining what the problem's trying to solve. Make sure you cover valuation and make sure you cover where you are in the development. Are you shipping things? Is it an idea and so on? So I think these are 3 points you got to cover.
I think also in one of the pictures, it seemed like a lot of that went quick. It seemed like a lot of time was spent on sort of background, and maybe too much time was spent on background and getting to the meat of what the solution was. So I think being concise in terms of what the problem is and your solution, getting to that and the value prop is really important. I felt like in that one pitch, there was just so much time spent on trying to address a problem. And I think everybody got the problem in 30 seconds, tops. But we didn't really get enough time to get a real sense of the value prop.
I'd say also beyond investors, which is good, you should think about grants as well. You know, this is how if I did my company. It may not apply to every single thing we saw, but it's worth giving it a try. You know, I talk about this in my book, among other things. Just wanted to mention that. That could be the solution for you.
Sri, you had some thoughts?
I was just going to add on to what you were saying, Roger, is like I always think it's easier if you just follow a template, which is what are you trying to solve? What is your product? Sometimes it's not clear and you have to keep asking what's the product and you waste time. Then I lost my train of thought. Well, then what's your monetization model? That's very important. Because again, we'd ask, oh, how are you making money? That shouldn't come up. It should be deeper questions on that you've already covered. And lastly, make it as standard. This last presentation I thought was interesting. He had, in capital letters, seeking 100K for 7% of equity. So just try and anticipate the questions, at least the high-level ones, so the investors, when they are asking you questions, have the opportunity to go deeper into some of the things you've already covered.
I think, Paul, you said a couple panels ago, who cares, who pays, and why me? Was that you? Who cares, who pays, and why me?
No.
That wasn't you?
My 3 things are what's the product, who's the customer, and most important one, why would they buy your product? If you answer the last one,
Yeah.
problem solved.
And also to the remarks that there's a lot of startups. That's true. I mean, I have a friend of mine. Every time I see him, he has 7 or 10 new startups just by himself. And I mean, you want to look at it for the long term, though. Again, and that's my perspective as an investor. I'm thinking maybe that company is going to be public 8 years from now, but it's kind of a long road as opposed to just the next 6 months.
And I'll just say, I always try and counsel my entrepreneurs to switch hats. Think like an investor. These investors are probably getting 50, 60, pitch decks or pitch requests a week. what is compelling about your startup as opposed to any others? And I always try and counsel my clients before we go into a pitch to think about risk mitigation, because all of these guys would love to have an investment where there is no risk and unlimited upside, right? That doesn't exist, so it really is all a question about risk mitigation. What have you done in your startup to mitigate the risks, the execution risk, the technological risks, the sustainability risk going to the moat? And when you can position your company as having mitigated a lot of those risks, you become a much more attractive, compelling investment than the other 59 potentially. So really try and think about it. I think startup founders get get tunnel vision thinking about their baby, and it's the most beautiful baby on the block, but really think about it through a different lens, an investor lens, and what they're potentially looking at. Anyway, thank you. Thank you to the panelists, and thank you all for coming.
Let's give it up for our panel. Let's give it up for Roger, our awesome moderator. Let's hear it for Procopio and all our sponsors. Let's hear it for our event team and our video team. Let's hear it for Joe, our timekeeper and our bouncer. Let's hear it for our audience. Let's hear it for me. So as I mentioned earlier, there is an after party. Here are the choices. The Rosewood. I know it's only Wednesday. The Patio, or Pizza My Heart. And the winner is, actually, we're going to stay here. Roger said it's okay to stay. As long as we want, we can stay all night if we like. So enjoy the after party, but stay in your seats. We have a birthday celebration. Is it your birthday?
Nope. Nice.
So fire that. So anyway, who has a birthday in the month of August? Okay. It's your birthday celebration too. So,
technical problem. All right.
Anita.
Whose birthday is it?
Happy. All right, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Outside.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Blow it. So we're breaking out the ice cream, have some cake, enjoy the after party. Thanks for coming.